Hi there, welcome to my views and news. Two news stories. Firstly, another unfortunate incident of kidnapping in Oromia, where kidnapping for ransom is rampant and uh, entire vehicles full of people are taken away, people, passengers abducted, and ransom is demanded. Secondly, is the government going to introduce a new controversial law about the Ethiopian capital, Addis Ababa? Let's talk about Addis Ababa. Addis Ababa is the capital city of Ethiopia, federal capital, and Oromia regional capital. Oromia region based groups say that it is Finfane, not Addis Ababa. It's part of Oromia. Oromia president is based in Addis Ababa. Oromia regional government headquarters is based in Addis Ababa. We know that Oromia is building a modern city around Addis Ababa, Shaggar city. Demolitions ongoing, roads being constructed, and a mega project has been announced to connect all the zones in Shaggar city. Mega road construction project involving the spending of billions of Ethiopian birrs. The critics of Oromia regional government, some Amhara groups say that Oromia government wants to engulf Addis Ababa by building Shaggar city around it. Because if Shaggar turns into a modern city, Addis Ababa will lose its significance. But on the other hand, federal government, Oromia government say that there is pressure of migration towards Addis Ababa. People try to migrate towards Addis Ababa. And Oromia government has to stop people because obviously Addis Ababa has capacity. So the best way to release the pressure, migration pressure on Addis Ababa is by building a city around Addis Ababa. If surroundings of Addis Ababa are developed to people, maybe will settle in Shaggar, they won't go to Addis Ababa. So capital will face less pressure of migrants from other parts of Ethiopia. There are disputes. There is dispute about the status of Addis Ababa. Is it a federal capital or both a federal capital or Oromia capital? Is it part of Oromia? Because federal capitals are generally not part of any region. They're part. They are federal government. Federal capitals are owned by all regions, all cities, all entities in a country. Status of Addis Ababa is a controversial issue. Ola says it's Finfine, it's part of Oromia. Groups like Fano, they say that it's part of it's federally administered area. It is owned by all groups, all regional states. Now, a new law is being introduced at the parliament reported. Details have not been made public. But if this law is implemented, it will make decisions about the status of the capital city. One day, the government will have to tell the people that what is the real status of Addis Ababa. Publicly, government will have to announce constitutionally, legally, decisions will have to be made so that this issue is solved once and for all. It has not happened so far. Just like flag is an issue too, that TPLF, that government added signs to flag. Same is the case with the capital city status too. Reportedly, in coming days, a new law will be presented at the House of Representatives. Details not made public, but this law aims at addressing this contentious issue of the status of Addis Ababa. So we'll have to wait. Let's hope that the law is balanced and No one opposes it, and it is not seen as pro Oromia or pro Amhara. So we'll have to wait for that reportedly. Law is it's in final phase of being drafted, and it could be tabled in. By the way, these days lots of new decrees, new regulations are being tabled at the House of Representatives. Almost on daily basis, we see new laws approved by the Parliament, by the ministers' cabinet, laws about employees, laws about industry, laws about taxes, laws about immigration, laws about religious institutions, etc., etc. The government is working a lot these days. Lawmakers working a lot these days on drafting new laws. But will these laws be implemented as well? Because making a law is one thing, implementing it sincerely is another thing. Second, viewers, another incident of kidnapping for ransom, it seems, but so far ransom not demanded, in Oromia, on not far away from Oromia Amhara border. North Shore zone of Oromia, East Shore zone of Oromia are two zones where kidnapping for ransom happens. Generally, entire vehicles full of passengers are kidnapped. And then ransom is demanded from all the passengers, their families. A few days ago, a viewer of my Vision News wrote an article on newsaddis.com. His cousin had been kidnapped, and that cousin remained, I think, in the custody of kidnappers for around 40 days. You can read the article. That was from horse's mouth, you can say, first-hand account of what happened with that youth who had to pay, whose family had to pay ransom. A new incident. The article is on newsaddis.com, my website. It's in opinion section. A new incident. It happened yesterday, reportedly, in North Shore zone of Oromia, which is the name of the town. And there, a public transport vehicle was stopped by armed men. They fired at the vehicle. Driver tried to escape. He could not escape. Rather, he received bullet wounds, reportedly. He was injured because the attackers, the armed men, indiscriminately fired at the vehicle to stop it. Driver had to stop, but he was injured because he was shot. Not shot dead, but he was injured. Three other passengers were killed. Driver injured, three passengers killed. Other remaining passengers were kidnapped by the armed men. They were taken to unknown location with the vehicle. Now, what will happen is that ransom will be demanded. Family members of these kidnapped people, abductees, they'll collect money from wherever they can. They'll have to they'll have to sell their property, their belongings. They'll have to collect ransom, and ransom will be paid. Then these people will be freed. We have been seeing this practice in Ishwa, North Shore zone of Oromia for years. And most of the abductees are generally from the Amhara region. When they try to move towards Addis Ababa, on their way, they are kidnapped in North Shore, East Shore. People point fingers to the Oromo Liberation Army, that Ola is behind these incidents. Ola kidnaps people. Ola denies involvement. But then who is involved? Who is killing? Who is abducting, killing these people? Where is the government? I told you about Afar, Somali clashes in some videos, that there's no government. There's no government here too in North Shore, Oromia. Where kidnapping for ransom is a business for groups, and they're openly doing it, and government forces unable to secure the release of these innocent people whose properties, whose families' properties now will be sold to pay the ransom to these ruthless and cruel abductors.